Who's the other artist? Just give me a reason.
There's so many artists.
No, just give me a reason. Pink and who?
Pink and... Isn't Channing Tatum in that video?
Channing Tatum. Pink and Channing Tatum. I love Magic Mike and Pink.
Mood. I don't know. It doesn't say Nate Ruess. Ruess. R-U-E-S-S.
I'm sorry I don't understand where all of this is coming from.
I thought that we were fine.
And I thought there was something about, like, if it's not love, it's indifference. But apparently I'm tripping, or that's the Mandela effect. Because I have no idea.
I don't see indifference at all.
I know. I listened to the whole song. Can someone tell me what that song is?
It just goes love, like it's indifference.
Yeah, or something along those lines.
There's like
but it's basically like we're not in love, we're just indifferent.
Oh.
Or if it's just indifference and it's not love.
The opposite of love is indifference?
Yeah.
Is it this?
What song is it? What song is it? What's the title?
Stubborn Love by the Lumineers.
Yes! That's it. The opposite of love's indifference. There it is.
Yeah, we got it. We got there.
That's enough.
And for this episode, it'll just be Michaela singing.
For an hour straight.
Literally just the same song, just on repeat. We'll call it Study Jams with Mac.
Find me on Spotify.
SoundCloud. Give me a SoundCloud rapper.
There we go. Except I don't rap, I just spoken words, softcore, heartfelt songs.
Yep. Yeah, well, hey, whatever gets the job done.
Honestly, I'm sure there's an OnlyFans thing for that.
Probably.
I'm sure someone would buy it.
You want to know what I learned? That all of those like 5-minute crafty things are fetish content.
How? Explain.
There's a girl on TikTok who just like her whole TikTok is her telling people, like, watching the videos and be like, oh yeah, this is fetish content because you see this, this, and this. Like, that makes it fetish content.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess fetishes are so broad that it can be quite literally anything.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, sure. But she has like millions of followers. And yeah. And I was like, I didn't know that.
That's fun.
I didn't need to know that.
That's fun.
But now you guys know that too.
Welcome to Sometimes Ciabatta Slaps, where we talk about everything holistic wellness. Mm-hmm. And for me, that self-soothing is singing and sound.
For me, it is not.
And dirty self-soothing is visual. 5-minute crafts.
Yeah. That is not my self-soothing.
She likes to watch
I don't know that that's a fetish thing because I have a fetish. I didn't know that.
One thing I really hate, which I just really came to terms with, I hate smells.
Yeah.
I hate abusive smells. Like, if you smell like Bath and Body Works, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
If you smell like you haven't showered in 5 years, you're dead to me.
Yep.
I had to cross paths with someone who hadn't showered or smelled like he hadn't showered in 5 years.
Yeah.
Or he was just a really good fucking zombie from Halloween.
Yeah. He went full out and hasn't showered since.
Foul.
Yikes.
Like, I gagged.
Yeah.
I've never gagged. I clean up my friend's vomit.
I can't even imagine, like, how bad that must have smelled to go downstairs and be like,
yeah.
Like,
it was, a little bit abrasive.
Yeah. I really like the term abusive smell. Because it literally just assaults you. Just like, you see those, like, green lines of smell and they're just, like, fists up, like, ready to go.
If Journey can create a visual for that on the YouTube,
that would be amazing. I'm not that good, though.
I will give you $50 if you can figure it out.
$50 real dollars.
Bet.
That's a deal. I would work so hard. Alexa said that she would give me her tips from next week for pulling her out of the ditch.
Oh.
I was like, no.
Which leads to the next two episode. Alexa from a few episodes ago.
The Queen of Chaos struck again.
Herself.
We got a massive dump of snow, and it wasn't cold enough for it to like stay as snow, so it kind of melted, so the roads were like pure ice. And so on the way home from work yesterday, luckily I was following Alexa because we were almost home. We were so close, and the roads, there was just like an icy patch in a corner, and no one saw that it was icy, and so everyone slammed on their brakes. And so then the person in front of her like slammed on their brakes, and so she was following it like the proper 2-car distance, and so she had to slam on her brakes. And she just like spun right into the ditch. But the person who's caused her to do that didn't even like hardly fishtail. Like they didn't even go in the ditch at all. And she was like, excuse me, what the heck? Like, thank you so much. And so then
much appreciated.
Yeah, I must have just missed her. And so then I like look over and I was like, oh shoot, there's Alexa's car. So I like call Bryce and I'm like, hey.
How did you see it though? It's so far away from the highway.
I was looking. I had a feeling on the way home. I was like, one of us is going to end up in the ditch. Like, I just kind of had a feeling all day that I was like, something's going to happen. And so then I like looked over and I was like, no way. No way. That's actually her.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
Fucking way. What's that song now?
I don't know.
We gang.
I don't know.
Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way.
It's a TikTok. That's all I know.
We gang. Anyways.
It's probably gang something or other.
Gucci gang.
I know that song.
Speaking of gang.
Oh.
It's not gang. Amigos member died the other day.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know Amigos?
No.
Journey didn't party in university.
No.
No.
At all.
Amigos like slippery. Excuse me. Please.
He's a singer?
Take off. Yeah, rapper.
Oh, okay.
You know Cardi B?
Yeah.
You know Cardi B's husband, I think, still Offset?
Yeah, vaguely.
One of his band members, Take Off.
He's in a gang?
I'm assuming so. This is just me.
Oh.
He's in a rap gang.
Ooh.
Okay. Anyways,
me
I cut
too.
you off.
Got me a burrito.
Relevant. I just know that Takeoff died, and I was like, wow, okay, that's fun.
That's kind of sad.
Amigos was just kind of iconic for my university years.
Fair enough. Because I heard Amigos died. And I was like, did one of your friends die that you just like didn't tell me about? Because that's kind of freaking rude.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
R.A.P.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Would have loved a heads up off air. Oh my goodness. You off so much. But yeah, so we pulled her out. It was kind of difficult, but Bryce and Spencer got the job done. So shout out to them. In the old Tonka truck, but it was eventful.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
No, Tonka truck.
Back it up like a Tonka truck. Darling.
Oh my goodness.
This is just gonna be. Yeah. So my friends have this running joke about my mom having a song for everything, and
it's now you. Did I call?
It's me.
Was it you I called a jukebox?
I think so. Feels
like I have a song for everything. I was like, yeah, we should just call you a jukebox. Just put a quarter in. Play this.
Listen, I mean, if people want to hand me quarters just to sing songs, I'll do it.
That's funny. You're a jukebox and Alexa's an Alexa. Alexa, do this. Alexa, play whatever. She goes over to Michaela, puts a quarter in. She hates that joke. Oh dear.
All right, now that we've talked about nothing for 10 minutes,
we're gonna do this episode on ambitions, because that's something that I think we have a fairly not like unique take on, but something that a lot of our listeners I feel like will relate to kind of in that like what Michaela has written down in the notes was like, my life isn't over after 30.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I know that I kind of struggled with that, like going to school and then being like, okay, if I want to get my master's, then I'd be done my master's by like 23, 24, and then if I want to go to school for my PhD, that's another 4 years, so I'm realistically not done school until I'm 27, and it feels weird to like start my life at 27 because it feels quote unquote old. It's not, but like, and so then kind of trying to decide, well, what do I want to do? And then I just didn't want to do school anymore, so I just didn't. But I feel like that's something that a lot of people struggle with, and I feel like it's something that women have to take into account more so than men, because we do have that biological clock where if we want to start a family, if we want to have kids, we have to do it before we're 40.
Yeah.
Because like close to 40 gets a little risky.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, you can do it later, but if you want a relatively smooth sailing.
Yeah, it becomes higher risk. There's more of a likelihood of having a kid with Down syndrome. Even just complications in the birth. Yeah, mutations. Yeah. So many things that can kind of go awry. But yeah, so we kind of just wanted to... I know when we planned this out, you were very passionate about like being considered too ambitious.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole idea of this episode came from the idea of what is like too ambitious, or is there such thing as too ambitious?
Yeah.
Or ambition anxiety, I think, is a lot of things, because when I'm in my head, I live here all the time. It's really fun. Either I'm trying to figure out what the fuck a song is.
Yeah.
Or I am freaking out about my future. And it's more so like now because I have a lot of friends, or I'm surrounded by a lot of people who kind of have their stuff, quote unquote, put together, right? Like they've got their long-term relationship, and they have either a ring, or they're soon to have a ring, or they're have a house, or they're have a career of sorts.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I'm living in this like teenage mindset in many ways.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yes, I'm studying. Yes, I'm going towards something. Yes, I'm not doing nothing with my life. But I don't have anything concrete that I can be like,
you play the comparison game.
You know?
Yeah.
For right now, I'm like, I'm this. I'm like, I'm a supervisor at a coffee shop, but I'm studying nutrition, and I have a podcast for fun. But I don't know what my career is going to be.
Yeah. No one knows what the future's going to look like. Yeah.
And so that's like the whole weird, like, and I don't think I've ever had that. I've always had like the whole, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? No idea.
Oh, that's funny, because I'm the opposite. I've always had like a concrete idea of what I want it to be. It's changed. I guess I'm not concrete then, but like I've always had an idea. So when people ask me, but now they're like, well, what are you doing with your degree? And I'm like, we'll see when I get there. Like, I have no idea, because it feels like now when people are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I've always done, like, I've bounced between, like, I wanted to be a cook, I wanted to be a fashion designer, I wanted to be a photographer, I wanted to be, like, it was all creative, and it was all very, like, on my own. But then when it came down to it, I was like, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, I like studying the brain. That was fun. But then going through my degree, I'm like, I don't want to be a therapist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I want to talk to therapists. I want to work with therapists.
Yeah, but you don't want to be a therapist.
No.
Yeah, and that's like one thing for me is that I can, like, I'm so passionate about so many things. So even like, choked on nothing.
I'm so passionate. I'm just
so passionate. I just got choked up. I'm sorry, was that too sticky for you? Oh my goodness, this could be an episode and a half. But I guess so, like, passionate about things, like even at the gym, it's like, oh my gosh, like, I love this. It would be fun to be like a trainer.
Yeah, I think that too.
It's like a fleeting thing. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to get my personal training certificate and to do the program, because I know that it's something that I'm enjoying because I don't have to be the trainer.
Yeah.
Like, and then as soon as it becomes a job to me, I'm going to be less excited about it.
So that's something I think I could be the trainer.
And I'm sure I could be as well.
But I would rather work with, again, same thing.
Yeah.
I just want to be their friend.
Yeah.
But not be the expert in that particular field.
Yeah.
Nutrition and stuff, like doing what Natalie does, where she comes and she has like her her presentation stuff. Like, that's very much where I see myself. I see myself giving lectures and seminars and hosting retreats and doing things like that.
Yeah.
What do you call that? Hi, I'm an entrepreneur, I guess. Like,
yeah, the blanket term would just be entrepreneur, but that encompasses so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have people who, like MLM companies, where they're like, I'm an entrepreneur. So then if you as a white woman go and you're like, I'm an entrepreneur, they're like, I don't want to buy your product, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not interested in becoming a team member. No shade to
Join
anyone
my
in
team.
an MLM. Like, if you can make money doing
Some
that,
shade.
that is absolutely, like, amazing. I
Some
tried,
shade.
couldn't do it.
Very minimal shade.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of your pyramid scheme. Not interested.
Yeah.
I don't care about your shampoo and hair product or whatnot that saved your hair.
Well, and the thing is, like, I was a part of an MLM for a little bit, but it was like
Which
a fun.
Which one? Oh, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, and so the basis of that company was absolutely phenomenal. Like, what they were doing was actually incredible, but I couldn't do anything. Like, the way they made their presentation was join the company, not this is what I can do for you. So I'd go to people who I would like to have as like my clients, because I'd be like a financial advisor for them. So I went and got my like insurance license and a couple other things. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to be like, hey, like, I'd love one person even said straight up to me, they're like, yeah, like, we aren't happy with our financial advisor, we'd love a new one. Mm-hmm. But because of the way the presentation was structured, it was set up as like, in order to benefit from this, you have to join the company. And so I'm like, and I spoke to the people above me, and I was like, hey, like, if you structure your presentation a little bit differently, like, if you have people who are interested in joining the company, have a presentation for them, but also have a presentation for the people who need financial help. Mm-hmm. Like, because that's what they would do, is they'd just teach it the importance of life insurance and investing and just a whole bunch of things that a lot of people just don't know. Mm-hmm. And so it was really important, and they were doing a really good job, but it was the way the company was structured that kind of was holding them back. But because of the way that it was, they couldn't change anything, so it was really frustrating because I couldn't make money. That was a perfect pause. I hope the microphone's got that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's my experience with an MLM. Oh.
This is good.
Yeah, on the topic of like not knowing what we want to be when we grow up, I feel like my ambitions are split career and family. Very much like,
I guess I'm similar, but more on the fact, like, I've never had a relationship. Will I ever have a relationship? Am I going to be that? There's nothing wrong with it, but like the stigma of just being like a loser.
Yeah.
Like, that's the word I use when I'm feeling.
Yeah, Michaela's like, am I just gonna be a loser who's single forever? And I was like, okay, no, you're not a loser. For starters, let's pause there and no, that's not nice.
Yeah,
but like,
no, but it's easy to spiral, especially when, again, I see my friends and in my mind they have their shit together.
100%.
But what is having your shit together? And no one has their shit together, right? And it's just, there's that whole thing you have to come to terms with.
It's a myth, yeah.
But you see people, or I'm surrounded by people who I'm like, wow, you've got it sorted.
Yeah.
And I think I'll feel more comfortable once I have a steady income off of something that I'm doing that makes me passionate.
Joy, yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Because I've always had steady income, but I've never really been passionate about.
Yeah. It has never been
in a restaurant.
Like, it's been a job. It's never been a career.
Once I'm working towards something for my name that fuels my soul, then I think I'll be more like, yeah, I've done this. I've built this empire.
Like, as soon as we can quit our jobs and do this full time,
it would be a dream.
That would be amazing, because then it feels like I don't have to choose between being a successful career-driven woman and a mom.
Well, that's where the appeal of like online work is, right? And I think that's why more people are opting to work from their computer or work from home.
Yeah.
Because then you can do the things like the whole van life crew. A dream. I would love that. It'd be so fun.
Right?
Or even just to like go and Our boss was talking about how in the to me this morning, talking about how the hospitality industry, the largest sector of hospitality, is family, friends, relative visiting.
Oh.
That's like, I see it. It's the only travel that I really care to do now.
Yeah.
I don't care to do the whole touristy things.
Yeah.
Per se. I want to go and visit my friends.
Yeah.
I want to go and meet my friend who lives in Italy. I want to meet her baby.
Yeah.
And just do things like that. And so to have the freedom to work either from a computer or for myself.
Well, to not have to take
that.
the vacation time and that hit in pay cut, like, because I took 3 weeks off just because I was so frustrated, but if there was the option to still travel and, like, recharge my battery at home while still making money and, like, doing my job, would be phenomenal. Or even just taking, like, a sick day.
Yeah.
And not having to worry about, okay, that screws over 8 different people and I'm not making any money. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think COVID really helped that for sure. It really kind of I feel like it reminded people of the importance of family because they were allowed to be at home with their family, in a sense. And I know that not every situation I know that there was definitely abusive situations out there that were not safe for them to be at home with their partners all the time, but I feel like it was good.
Yeah.
But
overall.
Yeah.
So then there's the idea of like, so because I want to do all these things at the same time, and before I'm 30,
yeah,
I need to complete my entire, I completed my entire bucket list from high school.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm here, I'm at 24, like lost.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's next?
Yeah.
But do you think that sense to like always have something next? Do you think that comes from North America?
Well, I was gonna say that's capitalism, baby, because that's what popped in my head when you said that. But I feel like that is like a thing.
Do you think that's just a North American culture?
Instead of just enjoying where you're at and what you're doing, we've been taught to constantly strive for the next thing. Okay, we completed this. Check. What's next?
Yeah.
To kind of keep us going because we've forgotten that life is fine just living in the moment, just experiencing what's going on, what's going around you. If an opportunity gets presented, you just take that one.
And yeah, I feel like, stress.
I know.
When I'm in that, trying to live in the moment, I'm like, fuck, I'm being a waste of space. I should do something more with my life. I've done nothing.
Yeah, and I say that like I live like that, but I don't. I don't. I know that's how you're supposed to, but I definitely don't. It's always like planning in the future and freaking out about what's going on, but I think that's a very toxic cycle. But I don't have any advice for how to live in the moment. Because I'm like, technically, I am living in the moment, like I'm here. But
well, some points like that I put down like underneath. Okay, so I mean, we'll go back. Let me just organize my thoughts here right quick. One thing that helps me when I am feeling like this like crazy overwhelm, I want to do all these things, is brain dumping. And so I just like word vomit my stuff onto a page, whether handwritten or computer. Yeah. And so with all of our podcast topics, when we're brainstorming a topic idea, that's what I do. I sit down, I stare at it, and I go, bleh. Yeah. And I have questions, I have points. I don't know what I'm going to talk about when it comes to the thing. Yeah. But I'm looking at some of these points right here.
It's a prompt.
Yeah. So the question I had was, what causes the need to overachieve? And the 3 points that I put down for it is there trauma involved with that? Is it personality trait, or is it ego validation comparison?
And I feel like ego validation comparison relate to trauma, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I had a small stroke there.
What type of trauma, though? Would do that then? Is it like, is that just like an overall cultural thing? Like, oh, you don't have an A, why is this a B? Oh, why did you only get a D? Or why did you only get a da-da-da-da?
There's so much focus on, because that's not the material world, but like academic validation, and like you're only good if you succeed in school. But once school is done, the real world's completely different.
Yeah. But it feels kind of dramatic to say I was like traumatized by the school system. Like that feels dramatic.
It does feel dramatic, but I relate to it wholeheartedly.
You think?
Yeah, because I didn't learn in the school system.
Oh.
I learned how to write a test. Mm-hmm. So I'd memorize what I needed to for that test. I was able to, this is only in university, and I was able to look at the multiple choice answers and be like, okay, it's not this, it's not this, it's this or this. And then go between them and do that, whether or not I knew the answer. Like, if I didn't know the answer right away, I could kind of wheedle it out because I was familiar with how these tests were taken.
Did you have to take tests in homeschool?
Yes. A little bit, and then we'd give them to my mom, and then she would mark them, and then we'd get them back, and then we'd cry because the only test I remember taking is math. And usually there's just like printout. Math was the only thing we did it because it's the most structured thing that you can really teach.
Yeah.
It feels like, so maybe that's why I want to teach math.
I feel like anything science too is also very structured.
Yes, but
and
it was
studies.
difficult because we would just get like a textbook. And so it's like, okay, do you read the chapter and then do the questions at the end? Because that's super boring. There was no like experiments because like we would have to do them and we didn't. And like for health class, like one time my brother and sister like shot a porcupine or something. It like our dogs got it. And so literally the day the homeschool facilitator was coming, Mom's like, so what are they doing for health? And I was like, I don't know what she said, but she was like, we were always joking about how like health class that day was shooting the porcupine.
Are there porcupines in Alberta?
Oh, is there porcupines in Alberta?
Like, are porcupines native to Alberta?
There must be.
I've never experienced a porcupine in Alberta.
Really?
No.
No, on the farm, there's tons, and you see them dead on the road a whole bunch too.
Yeah, I've never seen a porcupine in Alberta. I've only seen one
Really?
in Kelowna at the kangaroo farm.
That's shocking to me.
I've never seen a wild porcupine.
Oh my goodness, yeah. All the time. What?
I've never seen a wild porcupine.
That's so wild to me.
I feel like that's not a normal thing to just come across.
It is a normal thing. Dogs get to porcupines all the time.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that, but I've never actually seen it.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Skunks, yeah.
Yeah, porcupines and skunks
Deer,
are like the
rabbits,
same.
Yeah.
I've only seen more rabbits now that I've moved to the city. Okay, we don't have a lot of wild rabbits at the farm, or any.
Yeah, we have lots of rabbits and hares and stuff around here.
Yeah,
but I've never seen a wild porcupine.
Oh my goodness. Wow, we'll take you to the farm. We'll show you a whole new world.
Looks like I'm going to be trying porcupine meat.
Ew, no, we don't eat porcupines.
No, I pet a porcupine at the kangaroo farm in Kelowna. That's
I've never petted a porcupine.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think her name was Penelope or something.
Oh, that's a good porcupine name. Penelope the porcupine? Mm-hmm. Porcupine? Porcupine. So yeah, comment down below if you knew that porcupines lived in Alberta. That's so weird because I feel like this conversation usually goes the other way.
Yeah, no, I never experienced that. I really don't believe you.
That's okay.
But okay.
Okay.
Did you ever go through a Miranda Sings phase?
Like not really.
I went through a Miranda Sings phase. Me and my roommates would just talk in her voice all the time.
Like, I knew she was a thing, but her and Rebecca Black were the same person in my brain.
That's funny.
I know. But she shows up on my...
Friday.
Okay, can we actually talk about that for a second, though? Why does she get so much shade for the Friday song?
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
It's not a quality song.
But it's not...
But she got famous.
It's not that bad.
I don't know. I think it's the same reason why Nickelback gets shade.
It's just too cool for them, or what? Nickelback was the only CD that wasn't like a musical or like the Jonas Brothers that we had as children. Graylin got the Dark Horse album for his birthday, and so we just blasted.
No, don't get me wrong. I love Nickelback.
Yeah, and people always shit on them.
I'm a fan.
And I was like, I don't understand.
But it's fun.
Okay.
We just touched on the points, but did we ever loop back in? Like,
not really.
So you said, yes, you have trauma from school. Do you think that then causes you to overachieve or feel like you need to overachieve or be, quote unquote, too ambitious?
Yes, because I didn't know what to do once school finished. Because I was like the only validation or whatever, the only thing I was good at was getting good grades in school. So what do I do now that there's no way for me to get good grades in real life? Like, no one's out there like, oh my goodness, A+ on pulling Alexa out of the car or the ditch last night, or B- for not showering before going to work, or like whatever, you know?
Where did I hear this? I heard somewhere. I mean, this is kind of what you're explaining, but something that when I heard it, I thought it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter where it was. Anyway, someone who hires people, I was talking to them. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the person at the time. But long story short, they were telling me about how they had this new hire at their job. Mm-hmm. And she started asking them to give her grades or review her work.
Oh.
At her real life adult job. And she's
Wait,
like,
I heard this too.
And she's like, I can't. Maybe I heard it somewhere else. Maybe I wasn't talking to someone, but I heard this story about someone basically asking for grades at their quote unquote adult job.
Yeah.
And the boss being like, this is the real world. I'm not going to grade your work.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out. I'll tell you if you're doing good or not.
Yeah. Your grade is whether or not you stay employed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is bonkers. I can't imagine ever like asking for that. And
could you imagine if I asked our boss, can you please grade my work?
Yeah.
He'd look at me like I had 4 heads.
Yeah. Well, okay, and so there's something to that, right? Like where you talk about like, I don't know, employee respect and da-da-da-da-da. But that's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, stand on your own feet.
Yeah.
It is like,
No,
whether
100%.
you're successful or not, that's your grade.
Yeah.
And grades are done, and so you have to move on from that, right?
Well, and your boss isn't gonna go out and make a rubric for your job.
Can you imagine?
Like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, 1 to 5, bad at this, good at this, okay at this, good at this. Oh yeah, you only got a 87 because you were lacking here and lacking here, but don't worry, everything else is a 5.
It's just so unnecessary work.
That actually sounds pretty fun. Maybe I'll do that for certain people at our job.
Give Alexa an end of your report card. Alexa, very social, great with peers.
Only good at making coffees.
Needs to work on her tardiness.
Really good at driving in the ditch.
Takes too many bathroom breaks. Concerned.
Are you okay?
The entirety of our
goodness.
podcast is now just us talking about Alexa until she comes back on.
Literally. Oh my goodness. Anyway, back on track.
So then there's another thing, I guess looping back to culture and stuff. Is there then a social pressure to be everything all at once? Because like in certain cultures, being steady and just doing one task is it.
Yeah.
Right? In a lot of Asian cultures, again, I'm speaking out of my ass. I'm clearly not Asian.
Yeah.
But more often than not, it's like, this is what you are. Mm-hmm. You're going to be the expert at this.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. Sounds good to me. Right?
Yeah. There's that. Well, and I feel like a lot of it then, because there's always like the movie where it's like, no, mom, that's your dream. So like how much of it is like parental pressure too, because it was put on them, so they're putting it on you, or like they don't feel like they were worthy in what they're doing, so then they're putting it on you, so that you don't make the same mistakes.
But is that a cultural thing for us?
Probably.
Or do you think, like specifically, because there's a lot of
specifically.
Well, yeah, I mean North America, right? Because
okay.
I'm North American. Hello, I don't know any.
No, because I was just thinking of like, I don't know if it's a stereotype or like how many like Chinese people are like, they have to be doctors, they have to do this, they have to excel, like their school system is so rigid, because that's what they value. And so like,
but even German school systems are more rigid than that.
Oh,
like
really?
If you don't get good grades in a certain school, then you can't go to university or something.
Wow.
Like it starts in elementary school, and then you like,
yeah,
I can't remember when it breaks, if it's like high school or something, but if you don't get into a certain type of high school, then you can't apply to universities.
Oh my goodness, that's silly.
But it's an incentive to do good.
I guess so, but the academic world doesn't really mean anything outside of academia. Like, how you do in high school shouldn't depend on what you're allowed to do after.
Yeah.
Like, if you graduate, amazing.
Yeah. I just remember like being like jaw on the floor when I had like my German friends tell me that. I'm like, there's what? And that's the thing, like, are we too flexible then though? Would a more rigid school system be better for setting direction, or is the openness something good? Because I mean, personally, I mean, I like free will and choosing my own thing. Yeah. But I'm definitely a little bit confused in my direction in life. Yeah. So would I have done better with something more like more structure, or would I
don't think so, because what's important to you is how you feel. Yeah. I think even if you were given a direction, if it didn't make you happy, you wouldn't want to go do that. Yeah. Right? Like, you would hate it.
Yeah. Like, but I think it would be more, like, living would be more simple.
It would be simple, but it might not be fulfilling.
Well, it's like, I can easily simplify my life.
We can just be happy where we are.
But I won't be. Exactly.
And that's the issue.
And here's why it's too ambitious, right? Like I'm setting these goals that are almost unachievable, even though I've achieved all of my previous goals. Yeah. And so I have that, and I'm like, no, I can do it. Yeah. But I'm shooting for like Mars. Yeah. And I haven't even gotten to the moon.
But that's okay. I feel like
I haven't even climbed the fucking Everest. Like, I am, I'm thinking Mars, and I'm depressed that I'm on Earth. Yeah. So what is that? Like, what causes that? Is it me? Is it a personality trait? Is it society? Is it me projecting onto society because I don't want to sit with myself and be like, nah, you're single because you're too picky and you can't pick a career or commit to anything because you're like biting off more than you can chew, so you just shut down and go into a depressive spiral, and then work out way too hard to the point where you injure yourself, and then you're forced to take rest, but then you just want to like cry and eat your feelings away and watch reality TV shows and pretend that you were on said reality TV shows.
Okay, so I feel like it's both. I feel like there's definitely that pressure of you, like, there's definitely pressure, whether it's from yourself or from other people, to do good, to be better, because you see everyone else doing what you want to do, even though where you are is perfectly acceptable. And I think a lot of that comes just from being young. And I think there's so much like pressure from even just like TV shows where they're like, oh, like 24, you have your whole life figured out, you have like what we're modeled and what we're shown is completely different than what we're living. Like, even like our parents would have been married already.
Yeah, my mom birthed me at 24.
Yeah.
I'm not having a kid.
That's not the reality. Our world has changed so much. And so I feel like because we're the generation where it's shifting, it's so difficult for us to like come to terms with that, because no one else is experiencing this. Because Gen Z doesn't have to worry about it because that's just what they're doing. It's totally normal for them. But the generation above us is used to like, well, why aren't you married? You're 24. You should have been married at 16. But that's just not the norm anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And then, not to sound again 45, social media. Yeah. I think that escalates it.
Oh, 100%.
As someone who is a big fan of social media and spends more time on there than I would like to admit.
And it's a highlight reel, right? Like, it's only showing the good
it's a highlight reel of it. But it inspires me, but it almost inspires me too much to the point where I then spiral.
Right. And so that's where I think it then becomes a personal issue.
Because it's like, I want that so badly, I have no idea how to get there.
Yeah. And that's very difficult. No, I completely
like, why can't I just have a personality like Snooki?
That's who you want to have a personality like?
No, but if you can get me a TV show, that'd be phenomenal.
Oh, okay. It's like, that's your dream? Okay, I take it back. This is all a you issue.
Actually, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
That sound brings me life. Oh my goodness.
No.
I don't know. It's the same kind of thing where, like, when I was in university and I was trying to decide what to do, like, do I want to do more schooling? Do I not want to do more schooling? Like, I can't really do anything with this degree, so, like, what should I change it to? And so then it was like, okay, well, if I do this, like, I'm just going to work. I could see myself thriving with just a career. Like, just putting my all into it, because all I see is, like, the person who comes to mind is Camille Soroyan from Bones. where she's just like single and just is the best at her job because that's what she does. And so in my brain I was like, well, I could just be like her and just focus on my job and just be so successful and just like boom, boss babe, like work so hard. But then I was like, okay, so then I'll never have kids. And then I was like, okay, that's weird. And I sat with that for a second and I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. And then that terrified me because a career is so, I didn't want it for the right reason. So I knew that it wasn't going to work, you know? And so that was weird for me because apparently being a mom is very, very important to me.
Well, I think you're made for it, though. That's the thing.
I know.
It sounds so, like...
I'm so excited.
Corny. I mean, you gotta really fucking chill before you do.
Oh, 100%. I'm working very hard to do that.
Otherwise, you're gonna be a wicked helicopter parent, and your 100%. Kids are gonna be the kids that, like... they're gonna be the sneakiest kids.
Yeah, I know.
They're gonna be a little fucking...
Have you met their father?
Sneaky tyrants. And you're just gonna be like...
Well, I'm gonna really try not to because I grew up around moms who were like that. My mom wasn't necessarily like that, but we had a close friend who was, and I'm seeing how it's affecting her children.
Oh, one of my best friends growing up was Mormon, and her parents, man. I mean, I was the rebellious friend.
Yeah,
and I didn't even do drugs.
You'd be my rebellious friend for sure.
I was just such a good kid. I just hung out with some characters.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was for my bad friends, I was the good friend.
Yeah.
And for my good friends, I was the bad friend.
That's so funny. I've just always been the good friend.
You're so wholesome.
I know, right?
I just attract wholesome friends.
Hashtag wholesome. But yeah, again, on the topic of too much ambition. That's something that terrifies me in other people.
Like what?
Like, Bryce and I, it was a very specific fear. We were watching, like, Wolf of Wall Street and the McDonald's founder movie, like, documentary.
I haven't heard that one. I haven't seen that one. I've seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same, just with different people. And so... they were so ambitious to the point where they absolutely destroyed their home life. And so then... yeah. And just went down a path that scares me. And so then watching it and seeing how much Bryce was like, oh my goodness, like, that's amazing. He's so smart. Like, look at what he did. Like, oh, I could totally, like, be him. Like, that's... and just, like, idolize them for, like, how smart they were and what they did. And which was probably pretty cool. But it was like looking at it from the perspective of the girlfriend was terrifying. I was like, if that's what ambition is, I don't want it. Because if in 10 years we're going to have 3 kids, we'll be married, we'll have a house, and you are working so hard that you're willing to throw that away for your job, like, that's so scary. Because as someone who would be then financially dependent on you, that's terrifying. Yeah. And to go through that and to put your kids through that is so scary.
Well, and I think, so you talk about dependency there, I think a lot of my ambition is that I will not depend on anyone. Yeah. I will not have anyone depend on me. Yeah. I'm doing my own shit. Yeah. You're doing your own shit. And this is why I'm still single.
Well, exactly. Men, they have to swallow their pride to be like, okay, she's going to be her own girl. She doesn't need me. But they need to be comfortable enough in them to like, okay, well, I'm going to do my shit and she's going to do hers. And together we're going to be this amazing power couple. But they don't see that. No. They want... I'm very mommy girlfriend.
They see I'm very
and you're very daddy.
My divine masculine energy.
Divine masculine. I like that.
I can slut push.
I'm strong.
I can take care of myself.
Yeah. I don't know. And then after we talked about that, all of my TikTok feed has been when you find a man that turns your masculine energy into feminine energy.
Oh my god, there's that disgusting sound. That's like I'm the bad guy or whatever. Oh. I sent you a video. It's like I'm the bad guy and it's like, say it again, I like it. I'm like, ew. Can we not? That is so cringe.
No. How about no?
So cringe. Let's maybe not do that.
Let's maybe not do that. But yeah.
So then,
I
like,
don't know.
other than like the cliche, maybe it's cliche for a reason, how to like break it down so it's not affecting your everyday life, right? Like mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
Is a big technique
It's
that
huge,
everyone
yeah.
raves about. Like for me, it's brain dumping and then
Yeah.
picking out achievable goals from there.
Mm-hmm.
But and with those small achievable goals, then it's like arguably it sets your desire and your optimism so that you're like, oh, I completed, like I may have not landed on Mars, but I
got
took
to the
12
moon.
steps.
Yeah.
Right? And taking those 12 steps every day, I think that's really what ultimately creates success.
Yeah.
For many people is consistency.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking of, like just acknowledging like where you're at and what you're doing to get to where you're going. You're on this stepping stone and you're going to get to the next stepping stone, but what do you need to do to make that happen?
But it's coming in terms of timing.
Yeah.
Because like I know I'm on my way to that next stepping stone.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I should already be there. I should already be 4 stepping stones
But
ahead.
why?
Well, exactly. There's no timeline.
Who says so?
Me.
But why?
My devil.
Your devil.
But
No,
why?
because
Is
like,
it true?
Is it?
Do you
Yeah,
know it to be
exactly.
true?
I'm the therapist.
Here's your hat. I gave it to you. It's on your head.
No, but like, I don't know where I was going with that. I lost all my therapism. Yeah, I don't know.
But is there timing?
No, and that's the thing that we're trying so hard to unlearn is that there's no set timeline to life.
Other than your biological uterus
Yeah,
produce.
yeah, exactly. Except for women.
Other than your biological uterus.
Literally. That's such a ripoff. What a scam. As if.
Yeah. I don't know. Multitasking doesn't work. I bite off way more than I can chew. The whole thing, you can't eat an elephant. I'm like, bitch, watch me. And then I just lay there and digest like a boa eating a fucking deer.
Great. Snakes again.
And that's what I have to say about that. But no, is there, yeah. What is ambition? Is there a thing as much to of ambition? Is
Yeah.
it us? Am I the problem?
Is it me?
Maybe I'm the problem.
Is it me, Jesus?
But
No,
is
but
there
it's
something,
like-
there's so much peace though with like, again, when I went to Bali, it was just such a calm island overall. Mm-hmm. I think it's because everyone's happy. I mean, maybe I'm speaking on my ass. I'm not everyone.
Yeah.
But like, you're in this structure where you just know it's going to happen. So you just kind of are like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like, you know, your, I believe, firstborn son, his name is Kadek.
Really?
They have 4 names
Yeah.
that are set in stone.
Oh,
If you have more than 4 kids, then you can name them whatever you want.
really?
Yeah. But you know,
Yeah.
I could be getting the orders really wrong. But you know that Kadek is the firstborn. I'm going to Google this so I'm not speaking out of my ass fully.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Not Kadek. The first one, Wayan, Madej, Neomen, or Katut.
Okay.
And so I met so many Katuts.
Yeah.
And so that's the 4th born kid.
Right.
And Madej as well. I've met a lot of Madejas.
So then, do you know if families have more than 4 kids more often so they can name them whatever they want, or are they just happy having 4?
Well, and that's, I don't know
Or
if
is
they,
it
I don't
a
know if
way
they
for
have more.
population control?
Well, I was thinking, I don't know if they have more kids than for that name thing, or if they have more kids because that's your role as a woman. You're giving birth. You're having lots of kids. Right?
Yeah.
And you're going to keep house and you're going to give your offerings every morning. And life's going to be great. And you're going to run your laundromat and you're going to whatever.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't meet a lot of females when I was there. A lot of the like the Indonesian people that I met were males.
Right.
And one of them in particular, Kadek, which is probably why I'm thinking of his name so much.
Yeah.
He straight up asked us, he's like, how can I marry a white woman? And almost as if he was too ambitious to leave this culture that he knows.
Oh.
He wanted the exotic. He wanted something different. He was the traveler, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And so where there are those people in every culture, right? I guess the equivalent of that would be, I think a lot of farming families, they're fine continuing the family farm. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But then there's always that one kid that's like, nah,
no,
I'm moving to Europe.
Yeah.
See you never.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I thought, is it a personality thing? Because even though there's that cultural thing.
Yeah. I feel like there definitely are some personalities who are more prone to that, and then there are personalities of people who are just comfortable doing the day-to-day. Like, I would be more comfortable doing the day-to-day. I'm not one to create waves. At all.
Tune into episode 3 where I'm like, make waves! It's good! Splash around!
I'm like, little ripples are okay.
Wow, do the big thing!
I'm the image of, like, the drop of water. And you're just like, crash and burn! Tsunami. Ripple.
Hurricane Michaela. Oh, there was a quote that I, like, in high school I idolized or whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't remember it now.
Oh.
But in my little angsty teen self or whatever, it's like, and then you'll realize why hurricanes are named after women or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Ooh, yeah, edgy. Okay, so I have another question on totally a different topic, but to bring us back, do you think that you would have less anxiety with your schooling if it was in person at a physical school than it is online and up to your own devices? Like, if there was a set...
I think for, like, fire in my ass, get this done, yeah.
Yeah.
Quality of education, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm actually understanding more doing it on my own, but the whole fire under my ass is really... I'm dragging my heels. I got cement boots on.
Yeah, definitely.
But again, I think it's because I started prioritizing other stuff, right? I wanted to work so I can, like, be more comfortable financially, and I wanted to work out so I could be more comfortable physically.
Yeah.
And so now that I've got those two things to, like, an okay state in my mind, I'm like, okay, school, just get it done. And then you can start building the career that you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? But I can't, no. I can't just do that.
No.
I'm like, Journey, let's start a podcast.
I'd love to. Thank you so much. Yeah.
It's just therapy. It really is.
It really is. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much all we have on ambition, other than we're, like, struggling with it so much. So we're going to play a game called Funny Bad Advice.
Journey just really said, we're done.
Yeah.
Bedtime.
Oops. Well, I feel like we'll just keep going, but the quality's just gonna go way downhill.
It's true.
So you guys have to let us know if that's something that you like or not.
Remember my beautiful segment name? We're gonna read some funny bad advice,
and I lost it all because I had to Google that song.
There's a new tab option. You know that?
Yeah, I didn't click it.
Obviously,
Michaela.
Jern.
Dang it. Oh, yes, I found it again. These ones are iconic. If you do something bad, make sure there's someone else around to blame.
Ooh, spicy.
Only chickens accomplish something by sitting on their asses.
I didn't get that one.
It's because they lay eggs out of their bums.
Chickens shit eggs.
Yup. That's why they're brown, Michaela.
Anatomy. Not all of them. What about the white ones?
They bleach them.
They're just too nasty.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah.
They're like, wow, that's disgusting. What have you eaten?
That's foul.
Oh, you're funny. It took me a hot second. I was like, that's funny. And then I was like, wait, did she mean to do that?
That's the best pun I've ever given in my life.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm gonna die on that hill now. I'll take that to my tomb.
Taking that to my toe.
My tomb. Taking that to my toe.
My tome. With the English language.
From my head to my tomb.
Amazing. Michaela's life cycle from her head to her toe.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toe.
Knees and toe. Knees and toe.
Eyes, ears, mouth, and gnome.
Gnome. Just a little garden gnome in the middle of your face. Hi, I'm Igor. Oh my goodness. Okay, but I want to say this next one first. Don't have sex after chopping jalapenos.
Spicy. What is this? Don't talk to anybody on the train except for your mom. Well, maybe it would be best to ignore her too.
Rude.
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 If you can't blind them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bryce's mom has said that to me before.
When in doubt, always ask your mother. Mm-hmm.
That's good advice.
If your kids suddenly start getting along and are very nice to each other for no reason, be very suspicious.
Yeah. That's a mood. As a child, that's a mood.
Silence is golden. Unless you have kids, then silence is suspicious.
100%. The second best advice that I ever received was you can't argue with an idiot.
I always grew up hearing you can't fix stupid.
That too.
And I've been thinking that so much recently.
And that's a lot of where like my biting my tongue comes from, because I'm like, there's no point in even arguing with you right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to change anything.
Well, okay, so this is the whole thing where the whole indifference song, full circle moment, came back to, is because I was like, I just feel indifferent. And I'm like, wow, I'm done.
Yeah.
If I'm indifferent, game over.
Yeah. That was when I came back. I was like, is what it is, baby. Like,
rock and roll.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Welcome to the shit show.
Pro parenting tip: only have spaghetti on bath nights.
There you go.
Graylin's version of spaghetti when he was a kid was avocado. He loved avocado, and he would wear it from his head to his toe. Like, like literally, we have photos of him just covered in avocado. That's adorable. This one is really nice for me, but if your tires are too old, just refresh them with a marker.
Yeah, Jern.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Your what was it called? Bald winter tires?
Yeah,
during a snowstorm? How'd that go?
I wasn't the one in the ditch.
This is true.
So
this is true.
Sorry, Alexa. This one's kind of confusing, but if you're too lazy to wash your cup, just use a pepper.
And on that note, thanks for tuning in to Ciabatta Slaps.
We hope this episode was good for you.
I guess we'll find out in editing.
I'm sure it felt fun.
If you didn't learn anything, at least you got a laugh.
And if you can hear the coughing in the background, hashtag flu season.
I'm Mak Joy.
I'm Mak Jubes.
We are sometimes Ciabatta Slaps.
And
sometimes ambition slaps.
You're right in the face.
Bye.
Bye.
ttfn.